disable that on Twitch. Once you start streaming on there, you're fucking shackled to the bits ecosystem. It cannot be turned off. So I made the minimum so high that no one can pay it, hopefully, and actively discouraging people from subbing on Twitch as well. Any and all avenues where people could just give me clams, I am just putting the kibosh on. I should have done this a long time ago, but better late than never. Might as well get the farty sharded now. The reason is super simple. I would much rather you keep your money, use it for yourself, or use it for things you deem important, whether it's charitable causes or what have you, but just stop forking it over to me. Now, since posting that video, there's been a lot of questions and even somewhat of a pushback from other streamers about how, like, this sets a bad precedent where it, like, starts to shame other streamers if they don't follow my footsteps here. Let me be clear, I'm not trying to make a rallying cry here. I'm not your dad. You do what you want with your own streams. Keep donations and subs on out the wazoo forever. I don't care. That's your prerogative. This was just my own personal decision. Obviously, that wasn't like the most prevalent take or anything, but it is a conversation I saw stirring about after I posted that video, because there are some streamers that believe that normal people having the ability to give them money helps them feel included in the community, part of the crew, part of the ship, and it's like integral to the streaming experience to be able to like sub and donate and things like that. I've never really shared that perspective. I've always viewed streaming as content that you are providing to viewers for free. If someone's nice enough to toss you a doubloon, you tip your fedora saying, "Holly jolly, thanks for the Reddit gold, kind stranger," and move on. But it's not an obligation, and no one should feel like they need to be able to give you money to be included in the community. That feels very parasocial to me, but that's just my own view on it. But what I will tell you, breaking the magician's code here, there is no top streamer that needs your financial support to put food on the table or continue providing those streams for you. Also, the bulk of a streamer's income comes from ads in the first place.
Peered into the infinite
anyway, though, I think this stems from people just not really knowing how much money a top streamer can make on Twitch, for example. So, let me show you my analytics from my lifetime on Twitch. Now, Twitch analytics are a little wonky here on the back end, so I wasn't able to just set the date range from 2017 to 2025 because it would just freeze. It would just have a conniption. I got the Twitch HQ server just fucking caught flame with me trying to do that, so I had to break it up into chunks. So in 2017 is when I really started like actually streaming on Twitch. I had dabbled in 2016, but it wasn't until 2017 where I got like partnered and everything. So from 2017 to 2019, I made $55,500 for those 2 years. And I wasn't full-time streaming at this point or anything. It was just a bit of goofing around, having some fun, and you brought in $55,500. From 2019 to 2021 is when I took it a lot more seriously. As you can see, my time streamed went from 600 hours on the 2 years to 3,600 hours, and I made $1.2 million for those 2 years. And this was before my Twitch contract, so the only ads that were running on my stream were like the pre-roll ads, the ones that Twitch would insert themselves. So this was still without ads, by the way. $1.2 million, almost 1.3. Then I got a Twitch contract which necessitated a certain amount of ads, 3 minutes of ad time per hour. And from 2021 to basically 2025, I made $4.1 million. And to those astute observers amongst you with those keen peepers, you might notice that my subscriptions are less than half of what they were for the previous 2-year period. So even though I have 180,000 less subs across these 3 years than I did for the previous 2, I still made significantly more, and that is because of ads. Ads are the breadbasket to streamers. That is the jelly to the peanut butter sandwich that is streaming. And keep in mind, these numbers here, the 4.1, the 1.2, those don't even include brand deals or sponsorships. And I didn't have any like ancillary donations, but a lot of streamers do for like Streamlabs, for like text-to-speech, stuff like that. So that doesn't include any of those other means of making money through the medium. This is solely through just Twitch. And I think something important to mention, contrary to popular belief, I am not a top streamer. I am also not even a full-time streamer, and I haven't been for over a year and a half. So, my 2025 earnings, I didn't really put them here. It's about 100 here. So, another thing to add to the total here. But I'm not even a full-time streamer anymore, and I haven't been a top 20 streamer probably since the fucking Among Us boom. You know, back in the prehistoric internet age now. Like, the Among Us era is the only time where I broached, like, the top 20. I've not been in that ball game for a while, and yet this is still a crazy amount of money, where there is no reason I should be taking money from just normal people working normal, everyday jobs. It just doesn't feel right to me. Streaming is the easiest job there is. Hot take, I know, sorry, that was a blistering, scalding magma that I just spewed out there, but it is just the truth. I sit in swamp ass for a few hours every day, well, at least I used to when I was a full-time streamer, playing games. Or just yapping. Now compare that Weenie Hut Jr. routine to a normal person who is actually working their ass off every single day in a 9-to-5 environment, grinding in the hopes of chasing the American dream. And then they'll come home, maybe turn on my stream and donate a couple of dollars to me. And it just doesn't sit right with me making that kind of money, given what I've made from all of this. And I really should have just stopped this a long time ago, especially considering this is just the Twitch side of things. I told you, I'm going to show you my YouTube earnings, so be ready because here it is! Huge fucking number, an unfathomable amount of money. From starting this channel in 2007 all the way until today, I have made $35.8 million. I never even imagined that amount of money was possible to earn without just being born rich. I have said from day one, I got incredibly lucky. I will never be able to put into words just how lucky I got with all of this shit. I'm not special. I got lucky. I have always said that, and I still believe that to this day. Now, something I saw a lot of people asking in the video I made about turning off all the donations and stuff is how much money I'm leaving on the table. And while it's kind of hard to show it on Twitch considering both subs and bits are technically still on, even though I discourage both and have bits at a point where I don't think it's even possible to use them, I still can't get like a hard number on what's like gone now or anything like that. But on YouTube, I can show you directly. So with memberships and supers / gifts, I made over $1 million. Keep in mind, I've only had those things enabled for about a year. There was $1 million in a year from just normal people donating. Yeah, that just doesn't compensate. Now I know there are plenty of streamers and YouTubers that have significantly more money than me and have subs and donations on and whatever. I don't care. Like I said, this is not me trying to lead some kind of revolution here where all of them turn it off. It's their choice to make. I wanted to explain fully why I don't want normal people just giving me their money anymore at all. Also, to be honest, I think just full goatseeing, showing how much streaming / YouTubing can make, just showing you the full, unedited, raw numbers, is probably helpful for normal people so they can see how much money is in this space, because I think there's often so many question marks from people wondering how much does a streamer or YouTuber make. They'll either say like they're making billions of dollars or they're making nothing. There's never like an in-between because there's never any like really hard numbers to look at. So, huge fucking number, an unfathomable amount of money. From starting this channel in 2007 all the way until today, I have made $35.8 million. I never even imagined that amount of money was possible to earn without just being born rich. I have said from day one, I got incredibly lucky. I will never be able to put into words just how lucky I got with all of this shit here. I'm not special. I got lucky. I have always said that, and I still believe that to this day. Now, something I saw a lot of people asking after the video I made about turning off all the donation stuff is how much money I'm leaving on the table. And while it's kind of hard to show it on Twitch considering both subs and bits are technically still on, even though I discourage both and have bits at a point where I don't think it's even possible to use them, I still can't get like a hard number on what's like gone now or anything like that. But on YouTube, I can show you directly. So with memberships and supers / gifts, I made over $1 million. Keep in mind, I've only had those things enabled for about a year. There was $1 million in a year from just normal people donating it to me. Again, that just doesn't fucking sit right with me. Now I know there are plenty of streamers and YouTubers that have significantly more money than me and have subs and donations on and whatever. I don't care. Like I said, this is not me trying to lead some kind of revolution here where all of them turn it off. It's their choice to make. I wanted to explain fully why I don't want normal people just giving me their money anymore at all. Also, to be honest, I think just full goatseeing showing how much streaming slash YouTubing can make, just showing you the full, unedited, raw numbers, is probably helpful for normal people so they can see how much money is in the space, because I think there is often so many question marks from people wondering how much does a streamer or YouTuber make. They'll either say like they're making billions of dollars or they're making nothing. There's never like an in-between because there's never any like really hard numbers to look at. So I think something like this can be helpful for that, especially because over the years I've noticed there's been a multitude of creators that have come out and tried to like underplay how well off they are financially because they believe it could be somewhat of a brand risk where if they are perceived as being someone that's very rich, well maybe their audience wouldn't like them as much because they're no longer relatable. This is something I've seen here and there over the years from a bunch of different creators, and I just find it disingenuous. So hopefully something like this can help show that if someone is in like the top sphere of YouTube or Twitch, they are very, very well off financially. Anyway though, if you add both of these numbers up, I've made a total of $41.3 million. But that's not to say that's what I have. Now I do live in Florida, which means there is no individual income tax. Big time Florida W right there. And I know, I'm big time gushing grannies, Florida closure, I give to my whole life. And that is something very nice about it. But it's not to say that the tax man comes in gentle with the loop. He still goes full on wrong. It is still brutal when the tax man comes a knocking. He'll blow up your guts. And that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. Obviously, a good chunk instantly goes. There's also like salaries for the people that I pay on my team, other expenses, and also for the first 4 to 5 years of me earning money through my YouTube channel, I donated every single dollar to charity. So while I may have earned $41 million over the course of my time online, I don't have nearly that much. But I still have more money than I will ever know what to fully do. And I actually thought it would be kind of fun to go through like a deep dive on what it looks like. You know, taxes, expenses, all that kind of thing, to see how it all breaks down. But maybe that's a topic best left for a different video, so for now I'll probably just conclude it here. Hopefully this was insightful. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya.
Welcome back to a series so electrifying, even Palpatine subscribed. In today's video, Jilly Wing's girlfriend, Vicky Cinderella, has accidentally exposed Hassan for lying about everything. She has confirmed Hassan has a shock collar and taped over it. Asmongold has responded just dying laughing. XQC responds cooking everybody. In a new podcast episode, Hassan is gaslighting all of his friends about the situation, and QT is once again defending him. She also admits that she does not agree with the use of shock collars and would zap Hassan and light his house on fire if he actually shocked his dog. I got news for you, pal. Another damning Hassan clip has surfaced where Hassan decides not to, quote, freak Aya. XQC and Asmon are cooking all the Hassan orbiters for defending this. Streamers Sidion and Quarter Jade from Offline TV are defending Hassan using the dumbest logic known to man. Hutch has weighed in on the cover-up and multiple updates. Subscribe to absolutely expose the biggest lying clowns on the internet. Okay, quick recap. So Hassan zaps his dog.
Please just fucking go, but stop.
And here we got the updated excuse list. First her dew claw got stuck, then he reached for a Zin, not a remote, then it's a vibration only collar, then he shows the collar but puts tape on it, then he says it's a far right and Israel propaganda or something, then it's my bad, stop colors are
Judge, jury, executioner!
And then it's, oh wait, I was reaching for a dog gate button. And that brings us to today. After all of those excuses, Jellywink's girlfriend has accidentally exposed Hassan for lying about everything. She admits Hassan has a shock collar and taped over it. Cutie Cinderella defends Hassan at the Faze house, claims that Kaya's e-collar had a shock function before the prongs were removed. She said she went to Hassan's house after the initial color gate clip to check the color.
Like it's only vibrate. Like there's a setting for vibrate and there's a setting for stop. Yes. And only the like since the prongs are in the one vibrates. So I looked at the collar. The collar is changed off where I think there would be prongs. There's no zap. There's only a vibrate function.
Interesting, very interesting, guys. So, number one, the collar did actually have tape on it. Number two, the electric prongs were actually taken out of it. And number three, it did have a shock function all along. And I don't know, if I listen to the Hassan orbiters, it seems like this collar would not shock at all. They were saying it was a vibrate-only model. As we can see, Hassan fans as well. Turns out, guys, we were not schizo. We were not hallucinating. It is exactly what we thought. It is a fucking shock collar. Confirmed 100%. If the exact model wasn't proof enough, if the remote wasn't proof enough, here we got Cutie Cinderella, who actually self-admittedly visits Hassan's house every single day for like the past years or something, admitted it is a shock collar. Now, I find this situation particularly hilarious because she thought she was defending him. Judge! Jury! Executioner! Accidentally exposed every single one of Hassan's lies. And now we basically have confirmation that Hassan was shocking the dog. Now, as the resident future predictor, I know the immediate cope coming from level 99 Omega Glazer Hassan fans, right? They're gonna say that, oh, he removed the shock function, guys. So they expect us to believe a multi-millionaire specifically bought a shock collar and then DIY decided to remove the shock function, you know, get rid of the prongs and then tape over it for some unknown reason, right? In order to only use the vibration function of the collar instead of just buying a vibrate-only collar, right? Almost like Buddy got caught zapping the dog and then decided to modify the collar. And that's when Cutie actually went to check right after the incident in which Hassan had already modified.
By the eye of Agamotto!
You wouldn't need to tape over it unless you're hiding something. Suppose, okay, you remove the shock function and keep the vibrate. Why would you tape over it? Why would you tape over it? Why would you just leave it as it is if you're not hiding anything, right? So basically he got caught red-handed. I mean, if we have all the confirmation, we even have a person who went to Hassan's house now confirming everything. I mean, this situation is falling apart for the Hassan defense squad. Sherlock Holmes, there's no way this man could have shot a gun 2 days ago because his gun is not currently loaded. QT Cinderella checking the collar after Hassan already committed the crime, going, there is no way this could have possibly happened. I checked the collar, guys. A day after the incident, you absolute moron. She just sealed his fate, absolutely. I went to the murderer's house after the murder and I didn't even see a body, so he must be innocent. It is Whoops, Hassan and Ludwig didn't train her well enough. Right, so Asmongold responded.
I don't know how it just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse. Everything's falling apart. All the lies are crashing down, and everybody is seeing the truth laid bare. And it is, in fact, exactly what everybody thought it was. So the story has changed so many times that I actually don't even remember what the story was originally. Don't they have like a group chat or something? You don't want to have like one person say it's green, the other person say it's blue. Truth is, it's actually purple.
The collar takes off where
I can just imagine Hassan watching this. No, don't say that. No, instead it was a tape.
there's no zap, there's only a vibrate function.
Then why did it need to be taped?
Here's the deal.
Here's the
I
deal.
have been to Hassan's house
Yeah.
every day for half a full year. I have never seen the dog get shot. I've never seen the dog.
What about the football?
I love how this dude immediately, instantaneously, because that's like, you say that with anything. I have never seen him beat his wife. He has never killed somebody in front of me.
He has a vibrating collar. I've seen it. Guys, I'm a psycho.
Dude, she is actually negative IQ. I checked the collar and it can't shock anymore. Expert detective Cutie Cinderella investigating a crime scene after a group of robbers rob a bank. She comes in the next day. I don't see any robbers here, guys. They just couldn't have done it. Where are the robbers, guys? If they were guilty, they would be right here waiting for me, the expert detective, to actually catch them. Now, nobody's actually surprised at her response. This is Jellywig's girlfriend, okay? A terminal Hassan believer. She even has a podcast with Hassan and will probably defend him no matter what happens, literally ignoring actual animal mistreatment here and claims to care about animals. Ultimate hypocrite, right? So then a streamer in the room calls her out to her face.
And it looks like I've seen it. Guys, I'm a psychopath. I love dogs, okay?
Put it over like my hoodie and shocked myself, and it almost took off my neck. I'm not
No, there's no shock. Like the electric prongs are taken out of it.
That whimper couldn't have been due to a vibrate. This is not.
Is I have never seen him shock the dog.
I've never seen him beat his wife. It doesn't happen. This is the worst argument that you could possibly make. Well, here's another question, right? Is that this is like another one of those like logic things. If you didn't intend to shock the dog, and there's two versions of it, one of them that can shock it and one of them that can vibrate, why did you buy the one that can shock?
Obviously because he wanted to save money. I mean, come on, guys. Let's not be stupid here, right? Hassan is actually a very frugal individual. He only lives in a $3 million mansion, and he only buys supercars and designer clothes and designer dogs. I think personally it is perfectly reasonable that Hassan was trying to penny pinch when it comes to dog collars, while also spending millions of dollars on everything else, right? You see, times are tough for Hassan. He's only making $10 million instead of $20 million. So obviously he had to cut some corners, you know? Let's just be realistic, guys. I mean, that's basically the story that they want us to believe. My favorite part of these situations is that, you know, the main villain of
Pick your hero. Or villain. I'm not judging.
This is one of the better ones. He popped off. Yeah, he really did pop off on this one. You don't expect to see something like this every day.
Just as we are forging peace and stability abroad, we are also restoring peace and safety and stability at home. And you see that in Washington, D.C., maybe better than any place, because we got there, and within 12 days it was very good. And within 30 days it's been as safe as any city in the country. It's been great. Took
That's
out
pretty
17
good, right?
people
I think
from
that's
out.
good.
These are career criminals in many cases, and people that shouldn't have been allowed in by the Biden administration.
Yep.
Historically, the summer months have been a time when violent crimes soar, as you know, but not under President Trump. Today, we're announcing the results of a sweeping law enforcement effort known as Operation Summer Heat. We were in many cities that people didn't know about.
The battle starts in
We kept it a
5,
little quiet,
4,
and
3,
it had a big impact,
2,
and you'll hear that
1.
in a second.
Wait, what?
But
All
over
you
the
need to do
past
is
few months,
capture the mission
FBI
area.
offices
Got
in all
it?
50 states made crushing violent crime a top enforcement priority. That's what they did, rounding up and arresting thousands of the most violent and dangerous criminals. And these are among the most dangerous and violent people in the world. They were allowed, in many cases, not in all cases, but in many cases, they were allowed in by a very foolish, actually stupid, open border policy. Anybody could have come in. They emptied out the jails, the prisons, the mental institutions. They emptied them into our country. And the people behind me have done an incredible job. If we didn't have that administration, it would have been so much easier. They allowed millions of people in this country that shouldn't have been allowed, including over 11,000 murders, half of whom murdered more than one person. And many of them are gone now, or they're put in prison because we don't want to have them come back. So we literally put them in our prison, which we don't want to do. But we bring them back to their countries. Working with state and local partners, the FBI arrested over 8,000 violent criminals during the course of this period. In major cities like New Orleans, Nashville, we saw a 250% increase in arrests. And we really reacted to bad ones. These include 725 individuals wanted for violent crimes against children and murderers. These arrests are in addition to the work of our historic federal task forces that make DC Safe Task Force has been unbelievable. I mean, the job they've done, it's incredible. And it's been so nice. There's so many people, they're going out to dinner and they're having dinners. They didn't go better already.
Go out to dinner. Now you can't.
Now they're going out 3 times a week. Restaurants are opening. Restaurants are full.
Look at the gold.
There's a lot of good things, but restaurants that were closed are now opening up, and everybody's happy. It's nobody ever said I have located. Everybody's going to you can have a child walk right through the middle of Washington D.C. and nothing's going to happen. We were losing more than one person a week, and they're being killed on an average of over 1 a week. The Make DC Safe Task Force has been incredible. And the Make Memphis Safe Task Force is having very similar results. It's much earlier than we've been there for a week and a half, but I'm hearing the results are pretty incredible. You'll hear about that. They're mobilizing more than 20 federal agencies for a law enforcement operation targeting violent criminals in American history.
We haven't seen that.
As a result of these efforts, violent crime declined nearly 20% nationwide compared to the same period last year, and it was the safest and most peaceful summer in 2 decades. And honestly,
I was born to change
we haven't
humanity
really
for
even
the
gotten
better.
going yet.
That time
If we didn't
has
have to
come.
fight all of these radical left governors, we could have had Chicago taken care of as an example.
The
They
fat
had in
guy.
a short period of time 4,000 murders in Chicago, and we have to
30
listen
seconds
to this
before you
man
attack.
stand up
Get ready.
and say that we're bad people.
Call him fat.
And the people of Chicago are walking around with
I am
MAGA
happy
hats.
you
You
are
have
here,
women,
Susan.
beautiful black
been a
women,
true
walking
friend
around
since
with
I first
MAGA
emerged
hats.
from my cocoon.
Please let the president in, and we don't care how he does it. They're not
They
interested in
meant to use me as
National
a
Guard,
pawn in their own wicked
Army, Navy,
schemes.
bring them in.
But I
Marines,
have a
bring in
much
the
higher
Marines.
calling.
They just want the crime to stop.
battle
And
starts
more
in
so
5,
because of the success that we had in D.C.
3,
Yeah.
I think if we
2,
didn't have that success,
1.
nobody would even.
Is that it?
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
So I want to
Got it?
congratulate all of the incredible law enforcement professionals joining us today, especially Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's terrific, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanchard, who's a fantastic
I mean, this is
legal
long
talent. He really is. He's a great
They
guy.
should have been doing this way
Of
more.
course, FBI Director.
Wow, it's happening.
They have worked so hard on this and other things. Since the start of the administration, the FBI has arrested over 23,000 violent criminals, more than double the number arrested in the final year of the violent disaster. The FBI has also for the severely disrupted more than 170 organized criminal enterprises and gangs. 1,600 of the most
I am
violent
ready to put on a
and
show.
confiscated over 6,000 illegal firearms. They've tracked down and arrested 4 fugitives on the most wanted list. 4 of the most wanted, actually 2 of them were the most wanted fugitives in the world. There's still much more work to be done, which is why the FBI continues to work alongside the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of War to defend and Pete Hegseth has been fantastic on other things, but on this too. To defend law and order and combat violent crime, arrest illegal aliens, and make American cities the safest in the world. And when I campaigned, I talked about crime, but I never knew that we were going to get into it like we did. You know, I mean,
Well,
I used to
crime is
watch the
bad,
cities
man.
with the murders. Chicago recently had one
Yeah, I didn't even realize
deal
it.
where they had 11 murders
Your
in one
team's
weekend.
capture
And they
progress
said,
is
well, yeah, but it was a
passing.
holiday weekend. They actually told me that was the reason. It was okay because it was a holiday. It was Labor Day.
I feel better
People
already.
are the worst. They really have to. You better. I tell you what. The
This
people
place is
in
curious.
Chicago,
Keep
and
an
the people
eye
in
here.
places like that can be fixed. At some point, it gets to where you can't fix it. It's too far gone. And we have some cities like that.
You needed some help.
But these are great cities that can be fixed. I'm going to be strongly recommending, at the request of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco. I think we can make San Francisco. There's one of our great cities 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Now it's a mess.
Oh, wow.
We have great support in San Francisco, so I'd like to recommend that for inclusion maybe in your next.
Do they have a zombie division at the
Every
FBI?
American deserves
Are they
to live
ready
in a
for
community where they're not afraid of being mugged, murdered, robbed, raped, assaulted, or shot.
By the eye of
I didn't realize that was such a big factor in the event. I didn't really campaign to a crime. But I never thought we'd go into every city and take a really safe city that we've all been living with for years and make them safe. And now it's like a passion for me, and it's a passion for the people behind me. So I didn't get elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for many, many steps ago. I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the audience right there.
Baldy.
I'd love to have him. I love watching him on television. I'd love to have him come up and explain his true feelings. Maybe not his truest feelings. That might be cool. But Stephen, thank you for doing it.
Bro, he just said it.
And the people of this country love you, I'll tell you. And they love what you say about crime and stopping crime.
Maybe not.
So now
what
I'd
he
like
really
to ask
thinks.
Director Patel
See, I
to
knew I
say
liked
a
this
few
guy.
words, and then Pam and Todd also. And I just want to congratulate them. This is an amazing thing. And we're just at the start. We're going to go into other cities that we're not talking about getting ready to go in. And when they go in, like Ash, as an example, told me that some people didn't even know. 5 months ago, they went into Chicago, and they started doing a lot of work. And we brought the numbers down a little bit. And but that really was just preparatory work for what we're going to do with the surge. We're going to have a surge of strong, good people, patriots, and they're going to go in, they straighten it all out. So
Just arrest all the people that
a
do
lot of
that.
these cities we're already working on, but we don't do it with a big flavor. But in a little while, you're going to see some numbers that you're not going to believe. And I think you'll probably start with Memphis because I'm hearing the numbers are much quicker than we even thought possible. We're going to have a herd. But
By the eye of Agamotto.
Chicago, and I told you, a very respected man, the head of the Union Pacific, said, "Sir, save Chicago. It can be saved." And the way he said it, was like,
Wow.
can you believe it? We're trying to save Chicago. But I understood exactly what he wanted, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to save all of our cities, and we're going to make them essentially crime-free, like other countries have crime-free. If you go all over the world, you go to the world, you hear Afghanistan, and you hear all these different places. Our crime in certain cities is worse than anything they can even imagine.
In
And we're not
Afghanistan?
going to have
Peace
that
to
in
this
these
universe.
It's going to
That, there's no way that's true, right?
I've watched entire realities consumed by chaos. I won't let that happen again.
The FBI have been doing. Thanks to your brave leadership and the mandate you were given by the American people
30
not only
seconds
defend the
before you
homeland, but
attack.
trust
Get ready.
you tasked us with our great partners at the Department of Justice and the Attorney General
Dr.
and the Deputy Attorney
Strange,
General to
wow.
start making arrests and bring prosecutions and safeguard our cities. And you said it. This is just the beginning. In just 7 months. I hope the media takes a look at every one of these charts because these are the best numbers for fighting crime in U.S. history.
Look at these numbers.
And it's only 7 months in. And to do
The
that,
battle
our
starts in
vehicle to
5,
do it choice was
4,
Operation Summer Heat,
3,
which the FBI
2,
architected
1.
to go after violent
All
criminals.
you need to
And
do
in
is
just
get
a
to the
3-month
mission area.
span, you had
Got it?
8,700 arrests of violent
You think
criminals.
this is a
You had
challenge?
2,200
Raising 2
firearms
superpowered
seized
kids.
off the streets permanently to safeguard our communities. You had 420 kilograms of fentanyl. Just to put that in perspective, that's enough to kill 55 million Americans alone. You had 45,000 kilograms of cocaine seized. And thanks to our Department of Justice partners, we had 2,100 indictments in 3 months from June to
mission area
September
is yours to
alone.
capture
Mr.
now.
President, that in and of itself would be historic for a 4-year president. You did that in 7 months because you let good cops be cops. You partnered up with the right people at the Department of Justice, put the handcuffs on, bring in the court,
How could I? I don't
I
know.
won't make the same mistakes again.
For the entire 7 months.
I want a zero behind every one of those numbers.
That's
what I think.
the Biden administration.
It's my opinion.
16,000, 17,000, 15,000,
Add zero.
15,000. That's the number of arrests year over year of violent felons in this country. For the Biden administration.
I am ready to put on a show!
28,600 arrests of violent felons in just 7 months alone. Your leadership, dedication, and remember, FBI, who wants to go out there and do the job that was prevented from doing weapons.
It's like almost double.
What happens when you take out the case?
Born from the chaos.
This number is historic by every metric. 28,000 people have been arrested, violent felons alone.
Violent
and when you go
felons?
over there and look at some of
No, not
these
yet.
charts,
That's whenever JD takes over.
Their team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
Feeling stronger already.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Zoom in.
Disappear!
gang arrests are up 200% and transnational organized crime. Stephen Miller has been a great partner. Was up over 12% alone. These numbers are historic just as a snapshot. But just so people don't think we're focusing on violent crime alone, the national security mission, Mr. President, your leadership has never been stronger. We have gone after espionage activities against our main counterparts in China, Russia, and Iran. In China alone, we've had over a 50% increase in espionage and arrests alone in prosecution.
So Chinese spies.
We have had a 50% increase, again, in espionage
We'll have to
cases.
keep fighting until we have a winner.
Russian spies.
Always prevails.
Iranian spies.
With 185 arrests, taking 100 last year, really big spot. When it comes to cyber criminality, put out a mission to go after cyber criminals as never before. Last year, we had in total 191. This year, we only have 252 arrests. 52 arrests for cyber criminals. For stealing from senior citizens, for violating civil rights and freedom, and for violating every American. These programs are records. Some of the cutest ones are
Look at how much cocaine they got.
as you know,
That's a lot of cocaine.
100,000 years. 2 days,
I am ready to put on a show!
It's a lot.
you said we have to go after the the empowered Department of Justice, the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, the Deputy Director of the FBI. Let me try, not just on summer heat, but also what we say, FBI can work on to do this. These people have been up and running for years. And instead of these guys not wanting not doing
Double KO!
and the FBI is from top 10 fuses to 4. Just to put that in perspective, Mr.
Got him.
President, the Biden administration captured 4 in all 4 years.
Good news.
You're on 7 and
Show
we're
was
gonna get to 10.
sweet-free.
We're gonna get to 10.
Name
This is
it. That's better.
6-year-old handicapped child. We got her in 52. We got her trafficked. 52.
Crazy ass bitch.
Another first-degree murder. These people are on the run.
By the eye of Agamotto!
This is just the beginning. This is what happens when you have big great partnership with prosecutors who know and cases. They sure you to stick. And that's what the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General and Governor Clark across this country. If you arrest that
Those are good graphs. We like those graphs. That means it should be higher.
Joe Biden, 4 years of uniform. We got him in 2 weeks.
I am ready to put on a show! Going anywhere!
I just realized Abraham Lincoln has my hot hairline. I think this
President Trump, the men and women of law enforcement say 2 things to me. First, you have taken the handcuffs off them.
You know?
And let them do their jobs, and you let cops be cops. That's why all this is happening. The director, the deputy director are working around the clock. All of these great men and women in the FBI, they have families at home, and they are working during a government shutdown right now. Many of them have small children. Many of them, I was talking to an agent this morning, many of them have babies at home, and they are working around the clock to not only keep our country, but our world safe. And that's what Operation Summer Heat did. Thank you, Director, and to the Deputy Director for everything you did on behalf of the Department of Justice.
Good job, you
and
got
you're
them.
going
Get
to
more of them.
continue to keep doing. And they set the stage for what we're doing in Memphis. You're going to hear a lot more about that, our joint task force next week, but they set the stage for Memphis. And last night alone in Memphis, there were almost 70 arrests. There were 12 guns seized. And there was a 70-year-old man arrested as a result of our operation in Memphis who raped a child under the age of 3. That one case makes everything we're doing worthwhile. So thank you all for being here.
What did you do with him? Is he still alive?
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this is a great day.
You gotta get rid of him.
I think there's stats that the director talked about which are important.
Yeah.
But I want to give 2 examples of what Summer Heat has done that actually will apply hopefully to everybody in this room. The first is for over 4 years during the last administration, there was a hotel in a town, the middle of a town in Alaska, that was being run as a drug den. There were over 1,000 calls to 911 over 4.5 year period.
Believe it or not,
there were
I have a dark
multiple
side.
violent crimes, drug dealers, overdoses, and murders at this one hotel. Ruining the community. Summer Heat went in there. It's not only arrested all the participants that were controlling the hotel, it seized the hotel. And so that's one example of what Summer Heat
How the fuck does that happen?
The second example is a large narcotics trafficking group that was selling fentanyl in the state of Washington. They were shipping fentanyl using commercial aircraft. They're not even fentanyl pills and powder onto suitcases, flying them from mostly Arizona all the way to Washington.
On commercial?
Going on for an extremely long time, and the entire organization was arrested. I say those 2 examples. It's easy to look at the board and see thousands of different now compared to the past 4 years. But there's actual life examples. Every one of these arrests means that our streets are safer, and that's because of the work of this administration of President Trump and Director Patel. So I will tell you, Attorney General Bondi and I are together every day with Director Patel, figuring out ways that we can continue to do this work, and it's not going to stop. The Attorney General said, like the President said, this is just the beginning, or phase 1, or a start, whatever you want to say, and it will continue on. So thank you, Mr. President.
Pure cosmic energy.
Great.
Some systems.
We found a way to get these individuals paid in the government. We have the FBI, great dentist that we always serve, and they're now on the
Questions?
Any questions?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
This is real firepower!
Yeah.
You have a number of how many guns were taken away from someone that had a prior felony or a previous crime that happened to prosecute that, because I know that
we're taking off the street. It's because it belongs to somebody who is not allowed to have it. Could be a felon, could be somebody who's illegally. There's all sorts of conditions. But if there's a gun taken off the street by the FBI, it's because the person who has it is not allowed to. It's not somebody who's lawfully allowed to have it. So every single one of those guns were taken off of people that aren't allowed to have it.
That's a great
And not including the FBI, all of the other agencies. ATF alone since January 20th has removed over 25,000 illegal guns off our streets just since President Trump's been in office.
I'd like to follow up on that. Could there be any further conversations you have actual like if you had a driving license, if you had a permit, you could drive around
As you know, they've been talking about that for a long time. It's an interesting question. People feel strongly both ways, but we are
Venezuelan votes. I want to ask you, why not have the Coast Guard stop them, which is empowered by law to do? This way you can confirm who's on the boat and ensure that they're doing what you suspect.
Because we've been doing that for 30 years, and it has been totally ineffective. They have faster boats. Some of these boats are seriously, they're world-class speedboats, but they're not faster than this.
You think they're going to stop?
And we've been trying to do that for years, and so much of the drugs, 25-30% would come in.
What a retard!
Right now, we have none.
Guys.
In fact, I don't know about the fishing industry. If you want to go fishing, a lot of people aren't deciding that you can go fishing. We've almost totally stopped it by sea. Now we'll stop it by land. But it never worked. It never worked when you did it in a very politically correct manner.
It didn't work.
But we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control.
What do you think?
We've had a couple of days where there isn't a boat to be found. And that, I view that as a good thing, not a bad thing. But we have tremendous amounts coming in by boats, by very expensive boats. They have a lot of money.
Not anymore.
Very fast, very expensive boats that were pretty big. And the way you look at it is every boat that we knock out, you save 25,000 American lives. So every time you see a boat and you feel bad and you say, wow, that's rough. It is rough, but if you lose 3 people and save 25,000 people, these are people that are killing our population. Every boat is saving 25,000 lives, and you can see it. The boats get hit, and you see that fentanyl all over the ocean, floating in bags. It's all over the place, and it's a tremendous. We're saving tremendous amounts of lives. Yeah.
This is real firepower!
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
This case for Boston, is this one of the cities that might be
Born again!
You say for where? For where? Well, Boston has a bad man who at least is a reasonable IQ person. Most of them are low IQ.
Yeah.
But, and they're so broke. I mean, what's going on in Chicago is just, you'd think the guy would say, hey, look, we have a problem, Mr. President. Could you come in?
That guy in Chicago is a retard.
We could have that done in a month.
He's a professional
We had their
retard.
cooperation. It's going to be done anyway. So we could have it done in a week. Yeah, Boston, she's got 4 areas that are wrong. And, somebody said, would we think about taking the World Cup away from Boston? Because they don't the answer is yes, we have the right to do that. So if we think that LA is going to be bad, or we think that applies a little bit to the Olympics too, but we'll talk about FIFA first. FIFA is very hot. If we think there's any reason that, whether it's Boston or anywhere else, that they're not doing their job, we're going to take those World Cup games and move them someplace else.
That's what he should do.
There's been so many conspiracy theories going around about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Do you have any updates for us, especially in light
Did
of
Israel do it?
that everyone's been talking about?
The only thing we deal with at the FBI and the Department of Justice is facts, and we delivered in record speed a manhunt to capture Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin in 33 hours. And if you put that in perspective to Luigi Mangione or the Boston Bomber, they took them 5 days and the police officer lost their life in their manhunt.
Ooh.
We are running out absolutely every single lead. And the best thing we can do to honor my friend Charlie Kirk's life is to make sure that everyone involved is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And that's what we're focused on, investigating the facts, not trading in conspiracy.
Did the Jews do it?
Mr. President, thank you so much.
Okay, never mind.
In light of China's export
You'll need a
from their,
top-notch team to win
Twitter's
this
not going to like
as
that.
a reliable partner going forward. And are you planning to meet Prime Minister Modi in Malaysia? Are you open to talks in terms of
Yeah,
trade?
sure. He's a friend of mine. We have a great relationship. He just said that 2 days ago, as you know. We have a great relationship.
I don't say
No,
that.
we
He
were
says
not
that.
happy with him buying oil from Russia. Because that lets Russia continue on with this ridiculous war where they've lost 1.5 million people, by the way. Russia's lost 1.5 million people, soldiers.
A lot of people.
This is a war that should have never started, but it's a war that Russia should have won in the first week, and they're going into the 4th year. And I want to see it stop. So I was not happy that India was buying oil.
30 seconds
And he
before you
assured me
attack.
today that
Get
they will
ready.
not be buying oil from Russia. That's a big stop. Now I got to get China to do the same thing. You know, that is relatively easy compared to what we just did over the last week
Yeah, good luck.
in the Middle East. Middle East was 3,000 years, and we got it done. This is 3 years. And I think we'll get it done. I think that President Putin, I think is going to. I think he wants to get it done. We'll see. There's a great animosity between him and Zelensky. You probably may have noticed. And it's, I think it's hurting the process. Yeah, please.
President, why did you authorize the CIA to go into Venezuela? And is there more information you can share about these strikes on the alleged?
Well, I can't.
Do you remember what I said?
For two reasons.
Do you remember what I said?
Number one,
bro?
they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America. They came in through the.
Oh man.
They came in through the border. They came in because we had an open border policy. And as soon as I heard that, I said, a lot of these countries, they're not the only country, but they're the worst abusers. And they've entered there. They've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, mental institutions, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States. We're bringing them back. But that's a really bad. And they did it at a level that probably many countries have done it, but not like Venezuela. They were down and dirty. And the other thing with drugs, we have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela. And a lot of the Venezuelan drugs come in through the sea, so we get to see that. But we're going to stop them by land also.
CIA had authority to take out the room?
Oh, I don't want to answer a question like that. That's a ridiculous question.
The moon!
Not really a ridiculous question, but wouldn't it be a ridiculous question for me to answer? But I think Venezuela's feeling heat.
Yes.
I think a lot of other countries are feeling heat too.
That's a yes.
We're not going to let this country, our country, be ruined because other people want to drop, as you say,
Yeah.
their worst. They
That's a
have
yes.
given us their worst. They've loaded up our country with
geez.
prisoners, with mentally ill people that are seriously ill, criminally ill, and we're not going to take it. It's just one of those things. And I can tell you, we're taking care of the sea. There's nobody, and we're watching. We're watching, and if we see it, we'll save it. Yeah.
There are Republican Democrats up on the hill.
Against the world!
About to attack. They're not
But they are giving information that we're loaded up with drugs. When they
By
loaded
the
up
eye
with drugs,
of
it was fair game. And every one of those ships were, they're not ships, they're boats, they're speedboats. They're extremely fast,
It's in the name.
record-setting type speedboats. They cost a lot of money. They have a lot of money because they're drug sellers. But they know one thing, they all have the same thing in common. There's drug dust. Drug dust. They call it fentanyl dust. All over the boat after those bombs go off. And you can take a run.
I suppose that helps.
We know before. We know when they go out. We know we have much information about each boat that goes out. Deep, strong information.
That's a lot.
Your soulless mud has been dealt with.
To who is it?
I must have it.
Yeah.
Bring a suit.
Are you considering other options and meetings?
No, we're looking at other options. We are.
The moon!
President Zelensky's coming in. I'm not a fan of the war. I'm not a fan of the way it started. It should have never happened. It wouldn't have started with our president. The election was rigged. And because of that, we lost a lot of lives have been lost because of that. Well, not American lives, but if I can save a lot of lives, that's why I'm in it. I want to save lives. I've had 8 wars. The Prime Minister of Pakistan got up the other day and said so beautifully, he says, you saved millions of lives. He told that to a group of people right in this office. He said the president saved millions of lives. And I think what he's referring to is the fact that that would have been with India a nuclear war. It was getting very close. You know, 7 planes, they don't talk about it, but 7 aircraft were shot down. In fact, we have the new ambassador to India right here. They're well represented.
Fantastic!
You better represent us, not them. Okay. Yeah. But Sergio's going to do a great job. He's going to do a great job. But no, we'll be talking about the war. We'll be talking about. They want to go offensive. I'll make a determination on that. But they would like to go offensive. You know, they will have to make a determination. You mean the a deranged individual. Well, they should. I'm surprised it takes so long. We're talking about violent crime. What about the crime against a political opponent? That's what we have to talk about, too.
We would like to understand the full extent to which the Biden-Harris Justice Department weaponized federal law enforcement. What do you think the committee will find out?
Yeah, I think it was the worst weaponization of a political opponent in the history of the world, let alone this country. And I hope that everybody's, they're involved in it. I'm not. Wow. I'm the one that has suffered through it. Ultimately, but what they did was criminal. Deranged Jack Smith, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed that his interviewer was, I think that was Weissman. And I hope they're going to look into Weissman, too. Weissman's a bad guy. And he had somebody in Lisa, who was his puppet, worked in the office really as the top person. And I think that he should be looking very strongly. There was tremendous criminal activity having to deal with. We don't have fair elections in this country. We're not going to have a country. And I've said it from the beginning, fair elections and borders. And we need also fair press. Because if you don't have fair press, it's very tough. And we've got the strongest border of anybody. Nobody has a border. We have a border where the numbers just came out again. You saw 0 people came in illegally. Now we do take people into our country illegally, but 0 people. But you're talking about a different subject. You're talking about political crime. They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed, I'm in theory the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good talented group. This is about something else. But I hope they're looking at political crime because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid. I have a lawsuit that was doing very well, and when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know, what do we sell the lawsuit? I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit, and now I won. It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right? So I don't know, but that was a lawsuit that was very strong, very powerful. They raided illegally my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. They went through the drawers of my young son. They went through all of the cabinets, drawers, the first lady. She walked in, she said, wow. She's very meticulous. Because she's so meticulous, she looked into the drawers and she saw everything a mess. It's the move they did against the person that just got out of office. And then you look at these corrupt people, you look at Hunter Biden, you look at the signatures, an example of the other people. I just signed so many different things. An admiral, a 4-star general. I'm signing them left and right, the commissions. And by the way, I want to compliment John Thune. And also Mike, great speaker. But John Thune, all of a sudden I'm getting these things by the hundreds. I was getting one every 2 weeks. It would have been 4 years before you got one. You would have someone that you could get it, all because of a Democrat. John Thune did a great job. I must have signed 200 into the administration. We just about caught up. So compliments to John. He had to do some things that were very tough to do that he didn't want to do, but he was forced to do it by the Democrats. And as far as the shutdown's concerned, this is a Democrat Schumer shutdown. And he's trying to do it to get relevance in the party. He's a loser. I don't know if he's sort of a loser, but intelligent. But I think he's losing IQ points at the time. I think that happens. I hope it hasn't happened with me. I know if it did, you guys will let me know about it.
DC, judge has given Stafford footballs, probation,
It's incredible.
no jail time. Is this justice?
Janine Pirro is...
2 teenagers that beat up ex-coach Stafford big balls,
Yeah.
probation,
It's incredible.
and no jail time. Is this justice?
Janine Pirro is doing a fantastic job, and she is beside herself.
Says it.
Because you have these radical left judges that
This
they
is in
beat
the White
the
House,
hell out
brother.
of this guy. There was many
Oval
people
Office.
against this one guy who was really trying to protect his girlfriend. He didn't want to hood it over the door but they really beat him up badly. That just happened, right? Wow, that's
Wow.
terrible. I think the judge should be ashamed of himself.
Herself.
That's a big problem. You know, they can do their job, and then they go into a court, and the people are protected by these. I don't know where they come from. Where do these people come from? Where do the judges come from? I want to compliment on behalf of Pam and Todd and all of us.
Get rid of her.
Cash, I think that Janine has done a fantastic job. And the case I heard was like flawless. It's a flawless case. They have them on tape. They have everything. And then a judge gives them a little probation. These are rough guys. And they're young. And if that happens, they're going to grow up. They're going to be real bad. They're going to cause a lot of problems.
True.
What were the conversations like?
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
I think they were great. He reported to me that you're great.
Yep.
He's a great man. You know, Modi is a great man. That he loves Trump. Now, I don't know if the word love. I don't want you to take that any different. I don't want to destroy his political career. But you have to understand, I've watched India for years. It's an incredible country, and every single year you'd have a new leader. I mean, some would be in there for a few months. And this was year after year after year. And my friend has been there now for a long time. And he's assured me there will be no oil purchased from Russia. I don't know, maybe that's a breaking story. Can I say that? Can you say it? There will be no oil. He's not buying his oil from Russia. It started. You know, you can't do it immediately. It's a little bit of a process. But the process is going to be over with
30
soon.
seconds before you attack.
And all we
Get
want
ready.
from President Putin is stop this. Stop killing Ukraine
Even the astral
and stop
realms
killing
are torn
Russians because he's
apart by
killing a
the
lot of
time stream
Russians.
entanglement.
Again,
Who better to
it
put them
doesn't
back
make him
together
look
than
good.
you and
It's
me?
a war that he
I
should
like
have
your
won in 1
optimism.
week, and he's now going into his 4th year. That does not make this big so-called war machine look good. But
The
we
battle
could
starts
make
in
a settlement. We're willing
4,
to settle. I
3,
thought we had a deal.
2,
The
1.
hatred of the two leaders
Ready
is
to
very
capture the available
it's an
area and
obstacle.
extract
It's
some
an
goodies?
obstacle. There's no question
Let's
about it.
go.
But I thought we had a deal 2 months ago. Who would think I created peace in the Middle East and can't get the two guys to settle? But I think we'll get them. But if India doesn't buy oil, it makes it much easier. And they're not going to buy it. They assure me they will. Within a short period of time, they will not be buying oil from Russia.
No
And
way.
they'll go back to Russia after the war's over.
No way I missed something. You just said that.
Well, that's what I have to say.
You're loading up on resources.
Disappearing.
But a lot of people think
You need to teach me
we
that
are the
spell,
people we
Steve.
want paid.
We want the FBI paid, we want the military paid. We got the people that we want paid. And I'll tell you, the Democrats, they don't talk about this. You know, we're getting rid of programs that we didn't like.
Yeah.
But that were negotiated in, but we didn't like. We're terminating those programs, and they're going to be terminated on a permanent basis. And it's thousands of people, and it's billions of dollars. We're getting rid of a lot of things that we never wanted because of the fact that they made this stupid move. And they don't want to talk about it. You know, they have their day coming up. I hear very few people are going to be there, by the way. But they have their day coming up, and they want to have their day in the sun.
Oh, God.
But they should really make a deal. So what we're doing, they call them dark data. Russell Vote is really terminating tremendous numbers of Democrat projects.
Dark data?
Not only what jobs, I mean the project in Manhattan, the project in New York.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Billions and billions of dollars that Schumer has worked 20 years to get. It's terminated. Tell him it's terminated, Jennifer.
Clear the enemies to extract more resources.
Hamas, sir, what is your understanding
Looks like
of the
resources
pace
are
of
running low.
returning
Get ready
the
to find
ceasefire?
another available
Well,
area.
they're looking for
Good news.
absolutely.
You've
So we have
stockpiled
the
half the
living
resources you need
hostages
to
all
win.
back. They returned some more today. It's a gruesome process. I almost hate to talk about it. But they're digging. They're actually digging. There are areas where they're digging and they're finding a lot of bodies. Then they have to separate the bodies. You wouldn't believe this. And some of those bodies have been in there a long time. And some of them are under rubble.
All gone.
Rubble. But
Head to the next available
there are
area.
graves. Some are in tunnels that
Great
died
job.
in
You're
tunnels
loading up on
that are
resources.
way down under
You've
the
got
earth.
competition.
And the tunnels
Clear
are
the
like 3
enemies to
feet.
extract
By
more resources.
By the eye of Agamotto!
It's a horrible
I'm ready to put on a
At the
show.
same time,
Don't mess with the amazing
knew most of the things they were doing, but they've killed probably 70,000 of these people, Hamas. And I said, it's time now. So we'll see what happens. We'll also see what happens. Your next question is going to be the weapons. We want the weapons to be given up, sacrificed. And they've agreed to do it. Now they have to do it. And if they don't do it, we'll do it.
CENTCOM today suggests that Hamas needs to hurry up and disarm.
Yeah.
And follow your command. That is the head of CENTCOM saying that. Is that not a signal to Hamas, to the rest of the world, that at some point the U.S. military may more directly engage?
We won't need the U.S.
Yeah, we're just going to let Israel do it.
Because we're very much involved. If we weren't involved, there wouldn't be peace. If we didn't destroy the nuclear capability of Iran, that deal would have never happened for two reasons. The Arab nations would not have felt bold enough to do it. Iran, very powerful at that time. Iran, so powerful between what Israel and us did. You know, the attack was, if you look at it, we helped them very much.
Israel fucked them up.
Including shooting down thousands of drones that were coming into Israel. You know, we shot them down. We were shooting them down. It was target practice. We shot down thousands of drones and missiles also going into Israel. Right. But between what we did to land that way with the conventional, we were
by the eye of Agamotto.
I noticed it on the desk. I always thought it was beautiful, but I never understood it. Now I understand it. It took hundreds of thousands of bombs in the form of food, but hundreds of thousands of pounds of bombs. Every single bomb hit perfectly. Then they sent tomahawks, and they sent 30 tomahawks on top of it. And that was totally, you know, CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as, you know, as Trump said.
Resources are
because I said
nearly tapped out
obliterated.
here, too.
Obliterated is not a strong enough word, actually. And you saw the Atomic Energy Commission came out and said the word obliteration is very, very... Think of it. They came in under potential fire. They entered Iran airspace late at night, in the dark, no moon.
No moon. Where to go?
What time we couldn't see anything. And they hit every target, and they weren't hit. Nobody saw that plane. That plane is stealth. Nobody saw it. The problem with that is it may be stealth today, but tomorrow it won't be. And we just ordered about 20 brand new B-2 bombers. It's unbelievable as a weapon. I know Putin, when I was riding with him in Alaska, we passed a lot of them. And he said, that really did the trick. I said, yeah, it did. It's amazing. Flying wing.
The amazing Spider-Man!
I am ready to put on a show!
Many countries. Many of those countries are relatively very strong military powers. And Hamas had no support. See, Hamas had the support of Iran, and now Iran says, don't get us involved.
The other team
Last time
is
they got
extracting
them
those
involved, didn't work
resources.
out too well.
Not good.
So they
They're
used to have the
getting
support
closer
of
to
Iran.
victory.
Today, Iran is, they're trying to survive. You know, when I heard the reports 2 weeks ago, Iran's looking to build a nuclear weapon, I said, don't worry about it. They got a lot of things they want to do before nuclear weapons. They said the last thing they want to do is a nuclear weapon. It didn't work out. And if they did a nuclear weapon before they got even close, that's something to attack. Well, we're in one now. Look, we have 100%.
By the eye of Agamotto!
We would be exposed as being nothing. We would have no defense. You know, they've used tariffs on us, but we've never had anybody sitting in that chair that felt the need to do it, and they've allowed us to be $37 billion in debt. Tariffs are a very important tool for our defense, for our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we're not going to have national security. As an example, if you look at Pakistan, I told them, I was in the midst of negotiating a trade deal with Iran, and Pakistan was going to be in line. And because of tariffs, they all want to negotiate much differently. We're making a good deal. I said during one of my conversations, are you guys going to go to working nuclear power? We are thinking about, I said, here's the deal. You go to war, I'm going to put a 200% tariff. I'm going to stop you from doing any business in the United States. I said it to both of them. Within 24 hours, the war ended.
I'm surprised. Look at that.
And again, the communists are the amazing Spider-Man. That man saved many millions of lives in front of a whole group of people because he thought it was going to be war. But when it came to war or having to pay massive taxes, the tariffs overrode. That's why it's so important. Not only the money, we're taking in trillions of dollars, not only the money, the power to keep peace, the power to be used for good is enormous. But a lot of people didn't understand tariffs. It's also made us very rich. We have a big case coming up in the Supreme Court, and I will tell you, that's one of the most important cases in the history of our country.
Is this the voting
If we don't win that case, we will be a
which one is this?
Weakened, troubled, financial mess for many, many years to come. I don't even know if survivable is a good term. And if we do, we're going to be the most powerful economic country in the world.
By the eye of Agamotto!
As a defense against what took place for many years. China would charge us tariffs. It was incredible, but we weren't allowed to. So we're allowed to do whatever we want. It's just the presidents that didn't want to do it for whatever reason.
Just do whatever the fuck you want.
And it was nothing. But of the 8 wars, I was saying 7, of the 8 wars,
now it's
I would
8.
say tariffs are directly responsible for me ending 6 of them. 5 or 6.
You'll have to keep fighting until
Without the tariffs, wars raging all over the world. With the tariffs, other than Russia, we have no wars. And we made a lot of good friends. Tariffs are so important to our movement, our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we don't have national security. Our country would suffer a level that... Yeah, but because they use so strongly on us. As an example, the European Union.
Economic
They won't take our cars, they won't take our agriculture, they won't take anything, but they send their cars in. Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen by the millions.
I'm part of the problem.
We don't send any cars. We don't take...
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Agriculture, they don't take our agriculture. They want their farmers. I understand that. But it was very unfair, and they were tariffing our products. They're keeping out by using tariffs. And we didn't use it by right now we made $650 billion they pay. We've evened it out. It's really a good thing. And you have to understand, they've all signed Japan, South Korea. I mean, South Korea, $350 billion up front. Japan, $650 billion. And they've all agreed to it. They're all happy. But before, it was a total ripoff. And if we don't have the use of tariffs, we have no national security. This country will have no financial security, will not have national security. And the people that brought the lawsuit are people that are aligned to foreign nations that are now being treated fairly as opposed to just ripping us off and ripping us aside. So, if we are not allowed to use what other people use against us, there's no defense. It would be a disaster for America. That's why I think I'm going to go to the Supreme Court to watch it. I've not done that. I had some pretty big cases. I think it's one of the most important cases ever brought because we will be defenseless against the world. Okay? Did you have one? Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to ask you about the Georgia Senate race. I know it's very early, but there's several Republicans in that field that are vying for your endorsement.
A lot of good people in that field.
Yes.
I know all of them, actually. I haven't made a decision on that, but you have some very good people in the Georgia Senate race.
Well, Governor has endorsed...
No, the governor has, and he's spoken to me about it a lot. He likes that candidate a lot. And I understand that. I haven't made a decision yet. But I'm following that race very carefully. I think it's very important for Georgia to get a real senator, because the senator they have now is a horrible senator.
You don't have to be a witch
He allows
to
all
find
the
a
crime, all the borders. You have open borders. I mean, his whole philosophy is a disaster. That's not representative of the people of Georgia. I know the people of Georgia. I won Georgia 3 times, but they say twice. Okay, I won it very big the last time. and I won it big the first time, and I won it big the second time, but we had criminals that didn't allow, I mean, I hope they're going to go into that. I hope they go into the votes which are being stored in Fulton County and take a look at, a real look at those votes, because I won it the second time, too. But I know Georgia very well. I love Georgia. Those people are great.
30 seconds
and they
before you
deserve a
attack.
good senator,
Get
because
ready.
the man they have now is a
Don't have to be a
weak,
witch to find the
ineffective
magic
person.
in this world. But it does help.
President, I wonder what you make of it. By the way, you won Georgia 3 times.
Yeah, I agree. Do you agree with me?
I
And
do.
he's the media.
For someone that
He's the
spends
media.
a lot of time in Georgia, I believe you won that. I really have a question about
You know, the word believe isn't strong enough. You know.
4, 3,
I know I won too. We have the great Newt Gingrich.
All you
Newt,
need to
you
do
agree
is
with
capture
us?
the mission area.
Good. Otherwise, we're going to
Good.
get dismissed immediately from home. You know, his wife, as you know, is becoming an ambassador to a great country, Callista, so congratulations. And we're going to take a picture. And the only reason I'm doing it, he speaks so well of me. He said, I'll go down as the greatest president in history, and then he blew it. I'm not sure if I put him above Washington or Lincoln. So I'm not that happy about that, dude.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
Oh, man.
Is weaponizing
Yeah.
the DOJ.
Let's be honest.
In the office of Todd, you represented President Trump in probably the greatest weaponization of the DOJ by Alvin Bragg. You know firsthand, if you can describe what you saw in the Biden administration
My
and
work
how they
here is not done.
weaponized the DOJ.
Well, I mean, I think it's
My
what happened in those last 4 years.
Nobody knows what happened.
A local prosecutor, his office staffed by somebody in New Jersey. Jack Smith, picked as a special counsel, staffs his entire office with DOJ prosecutors. And then there are countless things that happen. All in writing, most of them on the docket, that require no explanation except a complete abomination of the place that we turned on right now and the record itself. So when people talk about this department weaponizing, it's embarrassing. Because there's no scenario where we're restoring justice, doing the right thing in every single case, and say that that's weaponization.
Their team's capture
And yet
progress has
remain
passed the halfway
eerily
point.
silent about what happened for the past 3 years, and we read these articles and giggle. Because it cannot be true that people really think that what they did to him, not once, not twice, I'm still counting 3, 4 times. The world one and the right. This man is not weaponizing the Department of Justice. We're not weaponizing the Department of Justice. It's the opposite. But also,
Chaos control.
you have to question what I'm saying.
Gonna get another fight.
Because we're all business.
Let the devil
But I watch the fake news, and he's weaponized.
So it begins.
And he wants to send them to prison. He wants all this.
Yes.
They indicted me like 5 times.
We are
I took a mugshot. Who would have said it from October? Because he was a good shot. But I had to take a mugshot. It's right out there in the door. New York Post. Front page of every paper in the world. They wanted to send him. Nobody says that. They say he's acting very, very tough. He's acting unfair. Let me tell you, if they've been nice to anybody, it's to those criminals. Because they are so good having to do with all of the things we're talking about today with violent crime.
It's a good shot.
But if anything, I think this Justice Department has been so respectful of the law. Because the other Justice Department, with Rita or
Magneto
Lisa
raised me
and
to
all of
never
that
stop fighting
scum,
for what I believe is
real
right.
scum, what they did to the political opponent of a guy that has a seriously low IQ. Now, in his case, it was low
30
based
seconds
on
before you attack.
his
Get ready.
career, but it got real low. Okay, it was
You have a
descending
problem with me, I
rapidly.
should know
But what
about
they
him.
did
Only the
to
years of
go after his
unnecessary
political
pain and
opponent
strife you
is
caused my people.
legendary. Worse
Whatever
than any
your
third world
Wanda
country,
Maximoff
banana
did,
republic.
That blood is not
And
on my hands.
what we're doing
yet
is
there you
nothing.
are.
Are you kidding? Nothing.
The battle starts
They
in
write
5,
stories. Why aren't they
4,
doing this?
3,
That's me.
2, 1.
Yeah.
We'll leave. I
All
don't
you need
have
to
to
do
leave
is
it up to
capture the
them.
mission area.
Do it.
But I
Got
choose
it?
to at this moment, at least.
Friends have
But
saved
there's
my life
never
far
been
more times than
anybody
weapons.
treated in the history
Even
of
so,
politics.
it's
You know,
always
they
nice
say
to
the
have a
2
couple of
worst treated
weapons.
presidents by the media,
You
etc.
and Abraham Lincoln.
Was that man right there, the late great Abraham Lincoln, and this guy right there, Andrew Jackson. They say Andrew Jackson was treated terrible. They give him number 1 and number 2, but that was before I came along, Newt. I say I have number 1 times 10. Nobody's been treated. And I did a great job. You know, we had a great first term. And we had one of the most successful economies in the world. I rebuilt the military. We did a tremendous amount. The last part had a horrible thing called COVID.
I won't make the same
And we handled that
mistakes again.
well. We made ventilators for nations all over the world. I mean, we did a great job. Probably never get credit for it. Look at the therapeutics, the Regeneron, all the different things, the vaccines, all the things we did. We did a great job. That's where the focus is. But we had the best economy in the history of our country. We're blowing it away right now. Look at the stock market. It is another all-time high today. True. It's 48 days out of the few days that I've served. 48 days have already hit record highs. And we have, maybe most importantly, the number, we have now, I was saying 17, it's over $18 trillion is being poured into our country. It's because of the election and because of tariffs. Without the tariffs, you wouldn't have probably 18 cents. It's because of the tariffs, because there are no tariffs if they build in our country. And they understand that. So we have medical companies coming up. We have the AI. We're dominating China in AI. Everybody said that's impossible. We're dominating. I'm letting these massive plants build their own electric generating plants. They're becoming utilities in addition to it. Maybe they'll make more money with that, who knows? But they're building their own electric. Because we have an old grid, you wouldn't be able to do
like
that.
a shepherd tends
And we're
to his
dominating
flock.
China, we're dominating with AI, which seems to be the new big thing. That's the new internet, that's the new whatever.
Yeah, it is.
So we're very happy with the job we're doing. I'm very happy with the job. When you tell me about attacking a political opponent, there's never been, and I'm a legitimate opponent. I watch my son, he's got the #1 best-selling book now. My son Aaron, he's a wonderful kid. That guy spent so much time with subpoenas. He got more subpoenas than anybody in the history of our country. Think of it. And he's an innocent, good boy. He's a good kid. He's always been a good kid. All of us. They went to, children went to federal grand juries on a hoax. Think of it. You have Adam Schiff and Hillary Clinton and others make up a hoax. And then wanting to put, so they know it's a hoax. And they go before the press, say Donald Trump Jr. will go to jail because of what he's done with Russia. I'll never forget, I get a call from my son Don.
41. Okay.
And he said, Dad, I'm being accused of something with Russia. I don't know anything about Russia. He didn't know anything about. Think of it, how bad they are. They say he'll go to prison for the rest of his life.
Uh-oh.
He knew nothing about it. On a hoax. The Russian hoax, Russia hoax.
I've heard about that.
On a story that they made up. And they made it up in order to explain why Hillary Clinton lost an election that she lost by pretty good numbers. The second one, actually the second one was even better, but the third one, this one was too big to rig. It was just too big to rig. They would have rigged. They tried to rig it. But think of it. They want to send my children to jail, but they were after Don in particular. I'll never forget Adam Shifty Schiff, a total crooked guy, lying in Congress, making up a phone conversation that I have with you, totally made up. Then when he heard it was taped, he wanted to disappear. And Nancy Pelosi went crazy because they wanted to impeach me.